Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is 1 p.m. here in Chicago, Illinois. That means it's time for another live stream. And today is Thursday, April 29th, 2021. Because it's Thursday, it is happy hour. Today, I'm going to be trying Tailwind Recovery. It's called Rebuild Recovery. It's a coffee-flavored protein shake for after your workouts, and it's got caffeine in it. So it's got a little bit of sugar, got a little bit of protein, got a little bit of caffeine, everything that I think that I like to have after a tough workout. So we'll get into that soon. But first, I want to say hi to everyone listening on the podcast, on the audio only version. Hopefully you guys are doing well, having a good run. And everyone watching this on YouTube after the fact, hopefully you guys are enjoying a nice happy hour yourselves with your favorite recovery beverage choice. And quick programming note, my mouth is super numb. I literally just got back from the dentist. That filling that popped out like 6 months ago, maybe even more. I finally got it filled today. Good news is I didn't need a root canal. It didn't quite get that bad. Bad news was they have to really work on it hard. So I'm a little bit, I don't know how well I'm going to be able to taste anything. So it'll be interesting to kind of give you my opinion on taste of this product, but I'm going to try to soldier through it. I don't even know if I'll be able to drink, to be honest with you. So we'll see what happens, but that's what's going on. That's why my mouth looks a little bit funny. If I talk a little bit funny, that's what's going on as well. I'm just super, super numb. They had to go in with 2 doses of the Novocaine because they got me with the first dose, and then it was just like they started drilling, and I didn't think it was too bad, but my body was flinching, and so the dentist was like, I'm going to get you a little bit more because we're going to need to do a lot more work. So yeah, so that's where I'm at, guys. Let's see who's here. Jeff Elliott says, I made it. Good to see you, Jeff. Martha's here as well. And Leona. Awesome. Leona's doing a rest day today with some strengthening exercises. Isn't it crazy the way that runners define rest day? I'm having a rest day, so I'm doing strengthening exercises. It sounds awesome. All right. Martha says she just had lunch after a more than 6 miler. She's going to post it on Strava with photos after the live stream and captions. Nice. All right. Well, we'll have to get it for the next Guess That runner. Not really Hank Aaron is just cheese for lunch sitting in my car. Anyway, anytime people talk about eating cheese, I always think about Wallace and Gromit. Every single time. Jeff Elliott is eating right now. He's not going to starve during the live stream. I'm actually really hungry. I didn't eat anything for lunch yet because I was downtown at the dentist. So I'm pretty hungry. Today would have been a good day for a Monday mukbang, but I'm also super numb still. And so the dentist was like, try not to eat while your mouth still feels numb. So I'm like, okay. All right. So I'm going to have to wait anyway. Leona's got some green tea. Awesome. And let's see, what else are you guys drinking today? Terrence Huey's here, says, hello, folks. And not really Hank Aaron says, just plain water. So water and cheese. That's what Hank Aaron's having for lunch today. And Terry Furlong says, hi, I just put the kettle on. Nice. Very nice. Giannis here says, hi, everyone. Just got back from an 8K. So a little pain in the ankle, but nothing too bad. All right. Well, hopefully that's good progress. All right. Jay Pelican says, anyone remember the Seinfeld where Kramer goes to the dentist? I don't remember that one. I was never a huge Seinfeld fan. I've seen, some of them, but I was never hugely into it. I don't know how. Satvinder Palsing Bhatia says, greetings from India. Hopefully you're doing well over there. All I know is over here in the US, we're seeing just crazy images of what's going on in India in terms of just pandemic spike over there. So I hope that you guys are all safe. And Scott says here, I finally got in an early run, but my bum was not ready. Did you have to stop in the cornfield, Scott? Oh, hopefully it wasn't too bad. And Hanbozy says, hey, everyone, chilling on the couch after 25K. Nice. Really, really nice. All right. Let's get into this Tailwind. So I tried Tailwind for the first time last summer. I had some of their drinks, and I would put them in my packs. I was going for the long runs out when we were at in Gunberg, and I just really enjoyed them. And I haven't circled back around to any of their other products, but then I saw that they have a whole new portfolio of stuff. And one is this Rebuild Recovery. And I like the numbers. The numbers on the back of this thing remind me a lot of the numbers of the Unived Recovery Mix. And specifically the ratio of sugars to protein. I like having both in my post-workout run drinks. It's got, 440 milligrams of sodium, which I think is a good number because I think I'm a heavy sweater. carbohydrates is 43 grams, and protein is 10 grams. So you get 10 to 4, like 1 to 4.5. I think that's about right. There's 480 milligrams of potassium and 80 milligrams of caffeine. So I like it. All right. So it's for this. It's non-GMO, gluten-free, dairy-free, and vegan. And it says 2 scoops with 16 ounces of water. I'm going to go with 1 scoop and put it in my regular like mixing jar. Looks like there's some water in here already. And so I'll do a half serving today, and we'll try it. So it's got a nice pull tab on the top. Not pull tab. What is that? Tear strip. You know, those things. And then it's got a seal, and then I got to dig the scoop out somehow. All right. This part's always treacherous. All right. I got a scoop. I'm going to put that in here. This is always so hard to do in front of like a camera and a microphone and a laptop. All right. Let's see. I spilled a whole bunch. I always spill so much. All right. Alex C says the chocolate Tailwind is so good. All right. Well, I'm looking forward to that. And then I'll put in 8 ounces since it's only halfway. Is that 8? Yeah, that's 8 ounces. Oh, a little bit more. And then we'll give it a quick shake. All right. While I'm shaking this up, Inna says, hey, Kofuzi and everybody, just finished a hill run with Pip and about to drive home. I'll catch up when I get home. Oh, awesome. Well, have a safe drive. We'll see you soon. All right. Dennis Chick says, hey, Kofuzi, a quick battle. Invincible versus Triumph 17. Ooh, that's a good one. I think it depends on what run. So I think it would depend on the battle. Overall, I still might take the Triumph 17. It's close. But I think the way that you would separate them out is if you're just looking for an everyday trainer, I think that the Invincible is it. If you're looking for that long run shoe that can do recovery work as well, I think I might lean toward the Triumph 17. The Triumph 17, it's bouncing. It feels like, it's, what I think what I described it is it's what the Ultraboost should have been, right? It's a really great shoe and it runs really well and it is very cushioned, but it's not really great at going fast. The Invincible isn't great at going fast either. So I like when you're doing strides, not my favorite, but I feel like it does like moderate paces better than the Triumph 17 does. But if I'm looking at it from an overall perspective, I don't know. Really close. I'm inclined to give it to the Triumph 17. That's where, Triumph 17. That's what I'm thinking. All right. Aldo Hume says, why did you get a vaccine? Are you a pensioner? Well, no, I'm not a pensioner, but I got a vaccine so that I could go to the dentist, so that I could start going to in-person races, so that I could do my part in being a good citizen, part of the member of the community. I got to get a doctor's checkup. Lots of things that I'd like to do. A haircut used to be on that list too, but I don't think I'm going to get a haircut. I think I'm just going to let it go. So those are my reasons, Aldo. All right. Martha says, I still just drink kefir, basically liquid yogurt beverage after runs. It's a whole food that has everything I need in the right proportions according to a nutritionist friend. What am I missing? I don't know. You might not be missing anything, Martha. I'll have to look at kefir a little bit more. But I'm not a huge fan of the flavor of kefir. All right. I'm going to try and drink this. I have a feeling I'm going to end up wearing a lot of it. I'll tell you, it looks chalky. I don't know if it's going to pick this up, but there's it's not really mixing all that well. But I know I didn't mix it a ton, but that is a weird flavor. I don't know if it's that I'm medicated, in terms of I've got a whole bunch of Novocaine in my mouth, but it tastes weird. It has it's supposed to. It doesn't. I think part of it is I thought it was supposed to taste like chocolate, and so maybe that threw me off a little bit. But it had almost like a doenjang, like a Korean miso flavor to it. Like I'm getting sesame from this. I don't know. I think all my flavor taste buds are all weird because of the Novocaine. But I like the texture of it overall, other than the fact that it's kind of like leaving some residue. Like the thickness in the body of the drink is good. I'm trying to drink it faster because that's how I normally drink my protein drinks. But I can't drink it fast because my mouth is so numb. Oh, man. Oh. Terry Farrelly says, big bad lumps again. Use a blender, dude. You know what? I think this one specifically said don't. Yeah. It says mix 2 scoops with 16 ounces of water, shaken, not stirred. I don't know if that's a joke or if they really don't want you to stir it too much. Just shake it. So I don't know. If I have to use a blender for it, I'm not that interested in it because I got a small house. We don't have a dishwashing machine. The kitchen sink is small. So like the only thing that for me is worth the effort of busting out the blender is making, when I make refried beans, which I just puree my beans. Or if I'm making a soup, smoothies, but otherwise it's a lot of hand washing stuff. So that's why I kind of like don't blender a lot. It's just a lot of extra work. We have a food processor as well, but it almost never gets used to shred some carrots. But I mean, that's what it is. But I feel like, if you give it a good stir and all right, guys. I think the internet went out for a second. I think I got it. I think it's a lingering issue from yesterday, but I think we got it resolved. All right, sorry about that. All right. Yana says, question, if you had a new pair of shoes arrive a few days before a race, and so you would only be able to get about 3 short runs in, would you still racing them? I think it would kind of depend on the shoe, like if I kind of have experience with it. I think taking it out for a shakeout run is probably enough, but like at this point, if it's like a Vaporfly, then I know I kind of know what I'm getting. And so I feel pretty comfortable about it, and I could take it for a shakeout run, do some strides, and I think I'd be okay. If it was like the Hyperion Elite 3, I'd probably feel better if I could do a little workout, even a short one, just to kind of get a better feel for like what the shoe is really going to do. So that's kind of like, where I'm at on that one. It would kind of depend. What do you think is the likelihood of the shoe working for you? So are you testing, is this shoe going to be a good marathon shoe? Or if it's like, I just want to make sure it's not going to give me blisters, right? So if it's that, then 3 days is plenty of time. But if it's the first thing where you're not sure if it's even going to be the right shoe for you, then I think maybe not. Maybe it might be too soon. All right. Leslie Clayton, what's going on? Leslie says, I just got my first pair of Hoka's, Clifton 7. Do they just have a really roomy toe box? Fit well all around my foot, but seem a little spacious in front. I think that it depends on kind of like where you're coming from. If you're coming from Nike, then yeah, it's much bigger up in the toe box. That's just the way that they normally are. If they fit well everywhere else, but it just seems like there's a lot of room up front, that's intentional. Then you have the right size. You're not in the wrong size or anything. And there's just a little bit more room in there. That's just the difference in the way that they make their shoes. So yeah, well, I hope you enjoy them, Leslie. All right. Martha says cowbell for John Bryan Serrano for doing the Eugene virtual. Awesome. Great job, John. Nice work on that. Did you go with the full marathon? Awesome, dude. AJ, what's going on? Good to see you again. Says near 150 miles on the Nova Blast, and I think it's too squishy for me. Yeah, if at 150 miles you're thinking this is too squishy, it's not going to change a lot more after the 150 mark. So it might be too squishy for you. I think ultimately that's what happened to me in the Freedom. Even though the Freedom isn't that tall of a shoe, I just think it was too squishy for me. So that's certainly possible. The Nova Blast for me settled in real fast, like 10 to 20 miles. The first run, basically by the second run, I was like, okay, I'm getting the shoes mellowed out a little bit. So, yeah. All right. Let's see. Crabosity. I love this this profile pic you got, Crabosity says. Any updates on the ASICS Magic Speed? I think mine, I pre-ordered mine from Running Warehouse, and I think they shipped today. So hopefully I'll get them soon in a couple days, and then we'll take a look at them next week. I'm super excited about them. I have some plans, so we'll see. I don't know if it'll work out or not. It might just be a regular shoe review. It might not be just a regular shoe review. We'll see. All right. Pete G 1980 says, "Hey Kofuzi, you still running in the Triumph 18?" I think. Where is my Triumph 18? I think I finished. Did I put 100 miles? I think I put 100 miles in it already, because I don't know where it is. I haven't seen it lately. I don't think I left it in. I don't remember leaving it in Iowa, and I haven't seen it on my mileage log. I have an Excel sheet that keeps all the miles for all the shoes that I run in. And I usually, once I'm done with the shoe, I hide the columns. And I don't think I've seen Triumph 18, so I don't think I quit on it early. But I think I ran 100 miles in it. Hey, what's going on? Want to say hi to everybody? Mm-hmm. All right. Mark Jane Coco says, haha, the only thing I'm waiting on to see is I can get a pair of the next percent. 2. If I don't get lucky, then Invincibles will be on the way. Awesome. Well, either way, you're going to get a good pair of shoes there.
Hi, everybody.
Everyone says hi, Grayson. All right, let's scroll down. Jay Pelican says, Kofuzi, have you tried or do you plan on testing the Peg 38? Yes, I do. I ordered a pair, but I did the Nike by You. That's what I did last year too. So right now it's not supposed to come in till like May 25th or something. But I'm not in a super hurry for it, because usually it doesn't come out till June, I want to say. So it feels like it came out early this year. But I feel like a lot of people have like kind of done the early review of it. So, I'll chill out on it a little bit and give it some time. And then I'll come in with my review a little bit later. But yeah, I will be reviewing it soon. Hopefully sooner than May 25th. Alex C says, are you an oat milk kind of guy? Try some of that in your Tailwind. I've never tried oat milk before. It seems disgusting, but I do like oats every way except for oatmeal. But so maybe I'll enjoy it. I'll try it. Ooh, look at this. Barry Purse says, just ran 2:58 at the Glass City Marathon at age 52. Great job. Well done. And he was only 7th in the age group. That's frustrating. Wow. I mean, I would expect that to be much more competitive than 7th. Not to say that you did a bad job, Barry, but that's a lot of competition. It says, I do a big soup of crunchy peanut butter. Where's the rest of it? I think there's more to that, Barry. But excellent. All right. It just kind of cut off there, I think. Chris Dyke says, I think all the Tailwind recovery flavors have a unique taste. The coffee is the only one I can handle on a regular basis. Reminds me of cold brew with milk. I'll have to see if I could taste it that way. But I don't think there's any sesame in here. I think that would be weird if there were. But there's the ingredients are dextrose, sucrose, coconut milk powder. Maybe that's what's giving it that weird flavor. It's got essential amino acids, a whole bunch of them. Organic rice protein powder, Arabica coffee, sea salt, potassium chloride, calcium carbonate, magnesium oxide. I think and maybe it's that coconut milk powder that's giving it, but there's a Asian flavor to it somehow. I can't describe it. Well, I'll report back to you guys tomorrow after I have it after my run, when my mouth is not half numb. I'm having a hard time just talking to you guys. All right, let's scroll down a little bit and make sure I catch up with you guys in the chat. Agent One says, "Oh, milk is so good if you get the right type." What's the right type? I've seen only one. It's advertised on the bus stops and stuff like that here. That's the only one that I've ever seen before. It seems like a weird idea, oat milk, but I don't know. I don't know. It sounds like I might like it. Ben Weiss says oat milk is life. Yeah, this has a weird flavor to it. Sorry, that was my phone. Terry says oat, hazelnut, almond milk, all lovely. Or milk is in quotation marks. Yeah, I don't mind almond milk, but we do also use regular milk in our house too. So I suppose I could put regular milk in this as well, but I don't know. I've never really. I know some people are doing the chocolate milk after they're running. I think that's kind of strange. That just seems like a recipe to vomit to me. I just feel like it's going to upset your stomach. But I also have I think I just have some very strange, weird kind of like thoughts on milk for some reason. Like one of the things was when my wife and I were dating, I remember, I don't know if we were eating a lot of ice cream or yogurt one day. This was before we were married, I think. And I'm like, I think I'm going to take it easy on that yogurt. I don't want to have diarrhea later. That sounds like something I would say, right? To a woman that you're courting. Yeah. So I remember kind of saying that. And she's like, what? And I'm like, yeah, if you have a lot of dairy, it gives you diarrhea. And I think that's something that I picked up somewhere along the course of my life. And so I've always had this idea that like if you just eat too much dairy, like if you slam dairy at once, it just is bad for your digestive system. So the idea that people would like drink chocolate milk after a workout seems so bizarre to me. I mean, I like these protein shakes and smoothies and stuff, but like dairy just freaks me out. It's kind of like having like a milk mile. It just seems like a recipe for like, it just like blowing like snot of milk snot out your nose. I don't know why. So yeah. Jebeli says, you might be lactose intolerant. I'm definitely not lactose intolerant, but maybe, I don't know. I feel like my mom told me that, but I don't know. And Viet Nguyen says, I heard chocolate milk has a perfect carbs protein ratio for recovery. I bet you it does. I'll have to take a look at like milk. I guess chocolate milk has more sugar. So I guess it has that like 4.5 to 1. I think that's the ratio that a lot of people say is good, but I don't know. And that's what this has too. And chocolate milk would certainly be cheaper. I really have to concentrate hard to be able to drink this without spilling it all over myself because my mouth is so numb from going to the dentist. Yeah. Albert Long says, way to impress your date with some poop talk. Yeah. Yeah. You okay?
I accidentally knocked down the coffee cup, so I went to get a towel
and
left it there.
Okay. I'll clean it up later. Thank you. Do you want to bring me that cup? She knocked over my coffee cup from this morning. It's my own fault for leaving it on the ground. Thank you. All right. Let's see what else we got here. Kesey says, also, I pulled out my Peg 37 last night for this morning's run, and my 6-year-old daughter said, those are Kofuzi shoes. Awesome. Oh, that's amazing. Wow. Smart kid, Keith. Very cool. Desi says, hey, Kofuzi, what's up again? Any advice on properly breathing while on runs? I've heard many ways you can go about it, but I've been struggling to figure out what's best. I think it changes depending on the intensity, and it could also change depending on kind of like how tired you are. But usually for easy runs for me, I run like 2 paces in and then 2 paces out. So in through the nose, out through the mouth if I can. Then if it starts to get a little bit harder or a little bit longer in the run, I might go 2 in through the nose. Then I might go 2 in through the mouth and 2 out through the mouth. And then sometimes I go 2 in and out 1. So I just kind of change it around. Another way to do it is I like the 2 in 1 the best, because then you're not always doing your inhale on the same side. And I feel like if you do that, that can, for some people, lead to kind of like you step harder on the one side when you inhale versus when you exhale. And so that's why I like to kind of mix it up and have an odd number, if that makes sense. So that's a couple of ways to do it. Like when you're like really working hard, then it's like in 1, out 1. I mean, that's like towards the end of a race when you're really working hard, when you're sprinting, that kind of thing. But for me, I was just reading it was in the Lost Art of Running, that book that I just recently listened to as an audiobook, when he was like, you really got to decouple your paces from your breathing, because sometimes like you're going to be going way too fast for it to make sense for your breathing. And I'm like, that seems odd. I just feel like it would throw me off balance to do it that way. I mean, because like physical exertion and breathing are so, I think, intricately related. Like think about it like from like a weightlifting perspective too. Like it's all like it's choreographed. So it seems odd that he would recommend decoupling those two things. I like keeping them tied together. All right. Rico says, have you ever tried Vega powder? I don't think I've ever tried that one. And Viet Nguyen says, imagine someone learning about Co and joining the live stream for the first time. Yeah, if you're new today, this is kind of what it's like every time. Thanks for stopping by. I love that you're here. If you've got a running question and you still want me to answer it, or you want someone else in the chat to answer it, please feel free to put it in there. And don't wait for to be invited to chime in. Feel free to chime in whenever you're here. All right. Martha says, nose breathing isn't practical for anyone with allergies. Oh, that makes sense. My nose runs, pun intended. Coffee, cold air, and running and various mild hay fever type allergies would make nose breathing a mess. Oh, I could see that. I hadn't considered that before. Interesting. All right. And John says, I hear you, Martha. Ooh, okay. Mohammed bin Khalid said, your favorite Ultraboost colorway? Yeah, usually I just like the ones that are, I know some of them are known because they're so well known, but generally what I like in an Ultraboost is a black upper, gray cage or the gray stripes, and then white Boost midsole. That works for me. I like to keep it nice and clean. Josh Greenberg says, hey, Co, I'm a high school sophomore. And Josh, I think you tell me you're a high school sophomore every time. You don't have to tell me that anymore. We know. Says, I'm high school sophomore and got my first invitational for the mile on Saturday after only one time trial this season on a bad day. Got any advice? First, I would say ask your coach for some advice first. The second thing I would say is, it's going to be real tempting to try and you're not going to try to win the race in the first lap. You're not going to win the race in the first lap. I remember my coach would always tell me that watch out for lap 3. Lap 3 is when everyone's mind tends to wander a little bit. And so the pace starts to get a little bit funky. Make sure you're staying consistent through lap 3 as well. But also you want to make sure you're saving something for the end. So the way that I like to approach all my races is I like to start out easy and just generally gently from the beginning towards the end, keep pressing on the gas and pressing and pressing. A lot of other people have recommended more of a U-shaped approach where you jump out hard, which for a high school invitational mile might be something you need to do because you don't want to be totally at the back of the pack, and then ease off in the middle and then sprint finish. So that's another way to approach it as well. But yeah, I'd say, Josh, talk to your coach, see what the coach says. If the coach doesn't know, then I would say either think about either doing a U or just a gradual increase. It also could depend on how much you know about your competition. If you know your competition is right around where you think that you could be, jump onto the pack and hang on for dear life. That's another way you can hold on to it too. Because if you're not sure what you're capable of, because you only had one time trial this season and it was on a bad day, like you say, don't limit yourself. Maybe you do go out with the pack. So there's a lot to think about, a lot to unpack, Josh. So I know I've given you 3 kind of opposite, three totally different ways of looking at it. But those are, I think, kind of the 3 ways that I would look at it. Yeah, Mark Shenko says, I'm still adjusting to this earlier time. I still have so much work after this, which is weird. Yeah, I mean, it's been weird for me to be oh, there's still so much day left today. Because it feels like before the live stream, I was nearing the end of the day because I basically had enough time to walk the dog, take care of any immediate kind of what do the kids need, and then I got to start making dinner. But now there's time to play with the kids more in the afternoons, which is kind of what was the main goal. So it's unusual though for me for sure. All right. Aaron Ross says, how do you reset after running 50-mile weeks for over 2 years straight? What kind of reset are you looking for, Aaron? You just want to take a vacation. If you want to just take a vacation, take a vacation. But when I hear the word reset, one of the things that I naturally get drawn to is if you're thinking about reset, think about low heart rate training. Mafetone is what I used specifically, and it took a couple of months really for it to start making sense for my body. But it was, running at a lower heart rate and doing all my runs for a period of time in that lower heart rate. And that changed a lot of things for me. So I feel like that's a good way to reset. And I felt like it gave me a really strong aerobic foundation to build on. Not that I don't think I had a good aerobic foundation before, and not to say that I wouldn't have had just as good an aerobic foundation now had I not, but for me, it felt like a really good and important reset. All right. Bert says, Michael, have you ever tried the eyeglass-based sound devices like Bose or Amazon Echo glasses? Thanks. I haven't tried those before. They seem heavy. I usually don't run with anything on. So like I don't even run with sunglasses that frequently. Although now that CDC says we don't have to run, that fully vaccinated people don't have to run with or be outside with masks on. Sunglasses are much more of an option now because I just didn't want to get fogged up. But I don't like the weight on my face when I'm running. So it's like, it'd be weird. I think it's weird to like put in contacts and then put on glasses. So like, I don't use it a ton, but sunglasses at all. But the idea of like the audio coming through them is also kind of weird. But I will say like, real estate behind the ear can get really cramped really fast. So like, as long as if you're going to be wearing sunglasses for the entire run, makes sense. But it just doesn't tend to work out for me. All right. We got a super chat in here. Lucas Lilly. What's going on? Lucas says, "Co, don't cut your hair. It looks amazing. Great half cut." Well, thanks, Lucas. Thanks so much. Yeah. I don't think I'm going to cut it. I might stop in for a trim or something just because I feel like I've got a lot of weird lengths going on here. I don't really, I think I'm going to wait till it gets a little bit longer even still before I even get a trim, just because it's at the point where it's finally relatively easy to get up into a little mini tiny man bun. And so like, I don't want to jeopardize that by getting a trim. So I'll let it get a little bit longer and then we'll get after it. Maybe. All right. It looks like we got Andy in here. What's going on, Andy? Tough run the other day, but a valiant effort. And like you said there, live to fight another day. Andy says, "Hey, y'all." What's going on, Andy? How are you? What's your recovery like this week? Man, it feels like that. Just watching the video, it looked like it was tough conditions out there. All right. Yana says, "Go put your hair in pigtails, please." I think I could do that. I think I could. We'll see. Scott says, "Man bun makes me laugh every time." Yeah, I mean, I like it. I've been seeing some other dudes out there running along the lakefront path that have much longer hair, and they've got their hair in like a ponytail in the back, like a low pony. And I'm just like, oh, I don't know if I don't think my hair is long enough for that, but I'm like, I don't know. I don't know how that would look on me. But yeah, I was like, I like putting it up in the little bun. I did the samurai one time because my sister asked for it. She's like, "Do it up top." And I was like, okay. But that just looked super weird on me for some reason. I thought it would look great, but I was like, no, I don't look great in this. It looks better when I'm a little bit further back. All right. Filippo Bianchi says, "Any advices for dealing mentally with injuries?" Yeah, I would say it's, I guess there's two kinds of injuries. One is if it's like a, career ending kind of injury that I don't really know how to get. It's going to be not the advice that I'd give you for the ones that aren't. Like if you've hurt a knee, hurt an ankle, pulled a hamstring, that kind of thing. For those kinds of injuries, I would say, it's not going to be forever. So make sure you're taking care of yourself. Make sure in the time that you're not able to exercise, that you're figuring out how you got there. So you can correct those things or rebalance those things, strengthen those things. So that way it doesn't just happen again in a matter of time. And so like that's kind of like focus energies in different areas. So that way when you are ready to get back running again, you're really ready to go because you've taken care of everything else. So that's kind of the advice I would have. So it's not the advice you can take if it's a recurring injury, but it doesn't sound like that's the kind that you're talking about. All right. Louis Romero says, what is the happy hour? The happy hour is just we're hanging out with beverage of choice, Louis. Today I'm trying something new, Tailwind Rebuild Recovery. It's like a post-workout protein shake. It's got some sugar in it as well, so you're getting carbs and proteins and some electrolytes. So like basically everything that your body's thirsty for. I went with a half serving for today, and I'm just about done with it. I'm having a little bit of a hard time drinking it though, because I just literally got back from the dentist and half of my mouth is numb. So I'm struggling just to like talk, and drinking is a challenge. But yes, that's a great idea, hon. Yeah, I'm having a hard time like just drinking. I need two hands. And like, I'm just convinced that like as soon as it goes in my mouth, it's just going to dribble out. But so far I haven't managed to spill any on myself. So I'm feeling proud of myself. Joshua Payne is here, says, yo, Co, what's going on, Joshua? And Philip says, yo, what's going on? Sorry for being late to the party. Just returned from a run. Got surprised by the new schedule right in the middle of it. Yeah, it's still new to me too. I think we're all getting used to it, but good to see you, Philip. Hopefully the eye surgery recovering is still going well. She's probably writing, says, I was wondering, is the writing in your logo / thumbnails your actual handwriting? Yes, it is. Yeah. So one day I saw there was a comment that someone had written like that was saying like, you know, I like the old thumbnails better. Like this new font that you have, I don't like this handwriting font. And I'm like, well, it's my actual handwriting, so I can't do a lot about it. But I guess I can not use my own handwriting. But yeah, so the process is I take the picture on this camera, and then I send it from this camera to my iPad Pro, and I have a pen for it, and then I write it on iPad Pro, and then I send it back. Actually, for the thumbnails for the live stream, then I just upload it directly when I schedule the live stream. If it's a thumbnail for like a regular video, then I send it to my MacBook. Yeah. And then on the MacBook, that's when I do the upload. So yeah, it's lots of steps. It'd just be easier if I mean, sometimes I wonder like a Wacom tablet would probably just make things a lot easier, but I don't know. I didn't buy the iPad just so I could write thumbnails, but I have it. And that's kind of the workflow that I ended up on. All right, DJ Modib says, long-haired runner here too. I usually go man bun unless I'm wearing a hat. Honestly, it's become kind of a nuisance. I haven't gotten my haircut since January 2020, and it's a tangled mess. Yeah, I hear you. I haven't gotten my haircut since probably about January 2020. I'm trying to think of, I didn't, great. She's telling me about my mom bought her a Connect the Dots book, and she loves doing the Connect the Dots. And the last one she did apparently was a puppy. Yeah, so I think about January is when I got my last haircut too. So this is a year and I don't know what, 4 months of growth, something like that. All right. Rami Yuhana says, sorry if this has already been asked, but what's your next race? The next one that's on my calendar is going to be the Crater Trail 50K in Decorah, Iowa. That one I'm doing for sure. I might hop into, there's a marathon out in the suburbs of Chicago here. I think it's still available to register for. It's 2 weeks before the 50K though. And that might be a little bit too close. I was going to use it as a workout, just like as a long run and not race it. But that might be too close to have like a 26-mile run for a 50K, which is like 31 miles, right? So I may or may not do that one, but I will be doing the Crater Trail 50K. So that's what's next on the list. So right now I'm working on just longer mileage and then working on longer, just sustained moderate to threshold efforts. All right. Rick Sutter says, hey, everyone, first time back to the live stream since the change of time. Welcome, Rick. Good to see you again. And Martha says, my hair is growing sideways again, and it's huge. And Lev isn't cutting it because I have an appointment in San Diego in about 10 days with my favorite guy there. First pro cut in about 15 months. Awesome, Martha. Awesome. That's so cool. Yeah, Kenneth Desrosier says, didn't you say you were doing a race in Massachusetts in August? I might sign up myself. Yeah, I think I haven't signed up for it yet, but I'm thinking about doing it. I have a feeling it'll go. I don't know. I just like, I was listening to the radio while I was driving to the dentist today that de Blasio is opening up New York July 1st. Like everything's going to go back to normal. I don't think completely normal, but like everything's going to be full capacity, I think. Right. So, yeah, so that makes me think, well, if that happens, then Massachusetts might happen. I mean, then like it makes me think other races might happen. And that race in Massachusetts in August is the Falmouth Road Race. They're not sure yet, at least as of the last time I checked, like a couple of days ago, if they're going to be able to go or not. But if they like fully announce like, hey, we're going in person, then I'll probably sign up for that. I'm also hoping that also means that the Carlsbad 5000, which is also in August, but in San Diego, exact opposite end of the country. I'm hoping that race will go too. I'm also hoping that they're not the same weekend, but there's a possibility that it could be. I hope they're not, because I'd like to do both of them this year. But we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, I'm feeling very, very, very optimistic now. Let's see what we got here. Eric said, just signed up for a 10-mile trail race in the Cuyahoga Valley National Park on 6/19. Will be my first trail race. Excited. That's such a much more sensible idea than signing up for a 50K as your first trail race like I did. I'm kind of like not regretting signing up for it because I'm super excited to run that race, but I'm like, I kind of wish that there were, what would have been perfect. It wouldn't be a trail race, but that May 15th race in Ferguson would have been a pretty good one to run. I wish that would have been a great day to have like a very hard effort, like a 10K race. Normally that race has a 10 mile in it as well on the roads, but that would have been perfect. That would have been a perfect workout. But, I won't be able to do that one, but maybe that marathon the following weekend. But I'm also like, maybe I think I bit off a lot more than I can chew. So we'll see how that race goes. Bryce says, I've been growing out my hair for the last 2 years to donate, but I always blame it on the pandemic when people ask. Awesome. So your hair, Bryce, this picture you got here, this is short hair. So then your hair must be way longer than that now. Crazy. Corey says, awesome, Corey. Massachusetts is supposed to be 100% by August 1st. Oh, yeah. Well, the Falmouth Road Race, I believe, is middle of August. So I can't imagine how hot and humid it's going to be. It's going to be very humid, right? But it's by the ocean, right? Isn't it? So I guess it shouldn't be too bad. But okay. All right. Well, I may have to check again then for that Falmouth Road Race. FOD Runner says, we need to get you and Seth over here with Matt, the Welsh runner. I'll take you on the trails around here one day. I would love to run around the Forest of Dean. That'd be great. One of the things that I would love to experience is I was watching something about in the UK, like rambling in the UK, like how people can just kind of walk places. I don't know how to explain it, but it just seemed like very a very different sense on property rights than we kind of have here in the US. And I thought that was interesting. And every time I see a fence in like a UK runner's running video, I'm always like, is that one of those fences that they were talking about in that documentary I watched? So yeah, but I definitely would love to get up there and run around the Forest of Dean. That'd be so cool. It'd be so cool. I'm trying to think. I'm like, I feel like trying to plan one for this summer would probably be a little bit too optimistic, I think, for my comfort level. I'm like, but I don't want to go in the winter. I'm going when it's nice. So we'll see. I don't know. I mean, the London Marathon, that's in the fall for this year, but then what are they doing for next year? I don't know. Maybe I'll just account. The other race I want to do is, what is it? The Great North Half, the Great Run, or something like that, a half marathon. That's supposed to be a very famous run. I think that's one that I've been kind of eyeing on the calendar as well. I think that this year did it already happen, or it went virtual or something like that? So it was something that I was like, oh, okay, I guess I'm not doing that this year. So just trying to remember. Yeah, and it says in Scotland we have very good rights of access. Yeah, see, I want to experience like hopping over someone's fence. I'll be like, This seems wrong, guys. I feel like we're gonna get in trouble. I mean, like whenever I see people like hopping over a fence in like the UK, I'm always like, oh man, if you were gonna do that in Iowa, I feel like someone might get shot at. Like with a shot, not directly at, but like kind of like a, hey, what are you doing? You know, you probably wouldn't get shot at, but you know, it makes me always kind of wonder, like, no, I'm not going to go on anyone's property that is not mine. I get very nervous about that. All right. DJ Madib says, Code, did you get the Rebel version 2 yet? I snagged a pair for my wife-weighted partner and hoping it'll finally be the glass slipper for his up-tempo and time trial days. Ooh. I haven't gotten it yet. I'm waiting for the black one to release just because like, it's like with the Peg 38, like a lot of people have already like made their videos on it. So I'm not rushing to be early on that one. And so I was like, as long as I'm rushing to be early, I might as well get the color that I really want. So I'm going to get, but all the other colors in the US, except for Habanero, are still not available on the New Balance site. So I'm just going to have to wait, I guess. All right. Looks like Shannon's here. What's going on, Shannon? How are you? And, all right. Desi says, Kofuzi, any advice on how I can take my running seriously? I'm 21 now. I've been running ever since I was a kid with no experience under my belt. I usually do more of distance and longer runs. I mean, I think that it sounds like if you've been running since you're a kid and you're 21 now, it seems like you are taking your running seriously. But if you want to take it a little bit more seriously, I think one way to do that would be to sign up for some races. Get some events on the calendar that you're really excited about, and then set up a training plan and start going for it. So I feel like having that kind of like focus to it gives it a little bit of, gives your everyday a little bit more direction and puts it in a context in terms of weeks and months. And so I feel like that's a real great way to feel like you're having a lot more progress in it. So that's something that I would suggest, Essie. Hop into a race if you can. Philip says, fences. During yesterday's run, I climbed over some barbed wire. Does that count? No, I would not. Well, how are you climbing over barbed wire? Hope you're okay. All right. And Benoit says, oh yeah, we have rights of way here, where even though rural land might be privately owned, some of them need to allow passersby to walk through. Otherwise, it would be chaotic. Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me. But yeah, that's something I want to check out. All right. Paul Kane says, the Chester Marathon in October, great race around 5K, take part brilliantly organized and part of a trio, 10K half marathon, do all three and get an extra medal. Wow, that sounds cool. Yeah, I like it when there's events like that. Like when it's like a running weekend. That's fun. Kurt says, back in New York in high school, we got shot, quote unquote, at when running on some golf courses for cross country with rock salt. Yeah, back in the 80s. LOL. Yeah, I can imagine. You know, whenever I go run on the hills, the way the hill in Chicago, the way I take is I run right by the golf course. Like the first tee, like you run right by it. Like I can hear people like hitting the ball. And I'm always wondering, like, one day some dude's gonna be like, I'm gonna try to hit that runner. I'll take the stroke penalty. I feel like that's gonna happen. So far, it's not happened. Although I did see a golf ball on that dirt road that I run on that's adjacent to the golf course today. So, and that was the first time I saw a golf ball out there. So, someone shanked it. Oh. All right. Alicia Chung is here. Good to see you again. Awesome. She says, here late, but we're glad to have you. All right. Ren Chet says, just saw your review of the Adios Pro. Just wondering in terms of sizing, do you have the same size in the Adios as the Next Percent? Adidas sizing always throw me off. Yeah, I would say get your normal Adidas sizing, but for me, it's the same. So I went with the same size as the Next Percent. I have the same size as the Next Percent, Alpha Fly, Metaspeed, Sky, Hyperion, all my super shoes, size 9. It's the same shoe. I think I'm lucky that way because I'm not like in the bubble. I'm squarely in the middle of size 9. So all the size 9 shoes fit me. But I would say like if Adidas tends to give you some problems, if you run in like the Boston or if you run in the Adios like 5, I feel like that's the size that you should go with. Or if you're running like the Takumi Sen SL20, RC 2.0, like any of those shoes, whatever size you ran in those, that's what I would go with. And if it's different, like if you're like Ultra Boost and Solar Boost, you're one thing, but like Boston and like Adios, you're in another, I would go with like the Out of Zero series sizing. I don't think it's that different, but if there is a difference, I would go with that. All right. I think that's a good place to leave it for today, guys. Thanks everyone for tuning in and humoring me and dealing with me and my numb mouth after coming back from the dentist. I'm still super numb. They gave me so much Novocaine or whatever it is that they injected into my mouth to make it numb. They gave me a lot. It's still super numb and it's like tingling. But I'll be over it soon. Tomorrow's video is, I'm not sure exactly what it's going to be yet, but we'll have a video tomorrow. It might be a run meditation video. It might be talking about getting ready for the 50K. I have a couple of ideas in mind. I'll have to see kind of what the footage is looking like before I decide on that. But we'll also have another live stream tomorrow, same time as today, 1 p.m. Central Time. I hope to see you guys again soon. In the meantime, be safe out there, everybody. Thanks.